Here we'll take a quick look at data infrastructure with a specific focus on geoportals and the use of metadata. A geoportal is a website providing a single point of access to spatial data. This allows users to browse through extensive collections of data and related materials and evaluate the fitness of the data for use. This may include data from the public domain or data that's available free of charge, or it may include data that has a cost associated with it. One of the values of this is that geoportals provide a more standardized way of distributing data, a visual way of seeing what data are available at which particular geographic scales, and which data sets relate to each other under different categories. In many ways, for the user, this is a much easier way to see what data are available than trolling through numerous tables. And I think that you may remember the experience of doing that. It wasn't that long ago in Geography 1700, where you looked through census data and through tables for various examples of spatial data. Geoportals are becoming more and more popular. That's a good thing for users on the whole. You still need to be familiar with how to use tabular data as well within a portal. As you become a more accustomed user of GIS technology and data, you should develop your skills at using and integrating metadata into your work. This means, first of all, using the metadata to help you make decisions about how you use data and what's included in data that you may be looking at for potential project or for use to address a particular problem. And it's easy to be lazy about this. It's easy to get in the habit of ignoring metadata, but you'll do so at your own peril, as we'll see in just a moment. So metadata typically are associated with your layers that you would find, the feature classes, that is, in the geodatabase. You can see metadata by clicking on description, as shown in the center here at the clip of an ARC catalog view of some data. You can also use the Customize and Options window to show more metadata, including the full amount of data that's available from the Federal Geographic Data Committee. Remember that the FGDC metadata standard is what you learned about in Geography 1700. The reading that was provided in Geography 1700 is really important for you, and I just want to refer you to that for further information. So when you look at metadata, at the most simple level, I just wanted to bring up a couple of issues that you need to be aware of. One of the most important questions is are the data relevant to what I'm doing? Secondly, does it have the quality you need to address the problem that you're trying to address? Do you understand how the data were collected and its relevance for doing what you're attempting to do? Let me show you an example from a recent situation with a student project. So in this case, students in the project management class during a recent semester were asked to make a map of school districts in Lake County. And as you become more and more familiar with the data that we have here at Lakeland on our server, you may be aware that we have certain files available from Lake County that sit on our server which students can access. We make absolutely no attempt to have the most updated, or guarantee that we have the most updated data available at all times. So we try to do that, but we can't guarantee that it's the case. And here's a good example of what happened when a student knew the data was there, found it, knocked out a quick map showing elementary, middle, and high schools, and ignored the fact that the data was over 10 years old. And if this student had looked at the metadata, they would have seen that the date shows that this data was collected or created in 2003. Well, since that time, several schools in Lake County have closed, and here's one example of Headlands Elementary School, which shows up on the map as an elementary school in 2015, but in reality it was closed in 2010 or 2011. Now, how could this have been avoided? Well, first of all, as students, you need to be careful. when you're accessing and using data. And you always want to take that extra step to look for the most recent data so that you're making sure that you get the most up-to-date data and also that you bring in ancillary information. This is one of the other critical things, and it's especially, it's equally true whether you're mapping something in a community where you live or in a place that's far away. If you're mapping something in a community where you live, then some situational awareness of what's going on in your community may be very helpful so that you're aware that, okay, hey, I've seen in the newspaper or I've heard that some elementary schools have closed in recent years. I better take a look at this. And then adding into that the ancillary information, searching newspaper sources, going online, finding out what's going on in the case study area where you're looking at a topic is very important for you. So that ancillary common sense information matters. Now, you could potentially use this 2003 data, use your own ancillary information, edit that data, and remove the schools from the data set that have closed. Or if one's been built in a new place or whatever, you'd want to include that in your topic. It's a really easy mistake to make, and it's one that you should try to avoid, and it doesn't take that much time and effort to integrate the metadata and show that you understand the data that you're working with. Okay, well that's it for this section. Next we'll get on to Unit 2.